Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. I'm sorry, I'm sweaty. Sweat rolling all over my face. About to get in my eye. But I was doing a few chores after getting home. And I don't know, it just seemed like today was a bad Monday, even though it was Friday after the Independence Day holiday. But wanted to show y'all. The chickens and turkeys are doing well. I've still only got 2 hens that are laying. I didn't buy any baby chicks because I was counting on that incubator to do its job. And I'm going to be honest about it, that my off-grid power every now and then will glitch and not switch over like it's supposed to. Why, I do not know. So I've had a couple of those times, but I've been home when it happened all but once. Well, that once was last week or earlier this week. And I thought, okay, I better do something to make sure. And it wasn't my off-grid. Let me correct myself. When I got home one day this week, my refrigerator and the air conditioner in the kitchen wasn't on. I'm like, did I forget to turn it on? No, it wouldn't come on. So I started checking, and I've got them plugged into one of those surge strip protectors. That thing tripped. I guess both compressors tried to come on at one time. I don't know. So I pulled everything out and checked it, and that's all it was. So I reset it, and everything's been fine ever since. So that got me thinking, all right, I've had a few glitches when I was home when it went to transfer from my off-grid back to the grid to charge, that it did not transfer cleanly and it'd throw an error code. Now, when it's done that, so far, every time's gotten power. But with that fridge and that air conditioner not running and completely separate from the off-grid, I thought, well, I better do something about my incubator, because I had it in the power production room because that's the warmest room of the house. And I thought it'd be easier on the incubator to keep the eggs, at that right temperature. Well, y'all know it's been a week and a half plus almost 2 weeks, but a week and a half anyway, about 10 days or so. And since the dogs killed all my chickens. So I thought, well, a couple of days ago, I decided to candle the eggs. And I candled them, and a few of them I could tell had some veins in them. Not enough growth in them to really say yes or no yet. But I thought, okay, the incubator's working. So I better put this thing on my battery back up to my off-grid, like I've got my camera system and the monitor that the camera system runs on is all running off. I did a video on it off a battery UPS system that would keep it on for a couple of hours if the power went out. And, I've had that thing I bought it in 2017, I think. So it's 7 years old. It's been a good one. I haven't had any issues with it. But I used it for my camera system when I had my store. And I put it on my camera system when I brought it home. And I haven't had any issues with it. Well, me thinking about that incubator, I'm like, I better move this thing and make sure it keeps power just in case something happens so I don't lose my eggs. And what do you know, I took it out of the room it was in and put it in the room with the cameras. And the backup wasn't working properly. It would work, but as soon as I turned power off to it, the batteries only lasts about 5 seconds, even though it says it's got full charge, 3 hours of runtime or whatever. It doesn't. It shuts off. So I'm like, crap, now it's not going to work. But not thinking past that point, I went ahead and plugged in my incubator, because as long as the off-grid was on, the battery backup was still sending power through as a UPS, no big deal. So I came home today, and last night was, a rough night around my homestead anyway, because my dog, y'all know Sparky up there, he doesn't like all the fireworks and crap going off. And somebody at 11:45 last night decided they were going to come out and shoot a lot of fireworks. And I'm telling y'all, those things, I could hear them very well in my house, like they were going off right above my house. And when they went off, it'd light up enough that I could see with my cameras without the night vision. I mean, just it'd light everything up just for that second they went off. I'm like, it'll quit in a little bit. It'll be all right. He freaked out for 20 minutes, y'all, clawing at the bedroom window, trying to get into the house to me, scared to death. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't make people stop shooting fireworks. When we go to the range shooting guns, he goes to his doghouse and lays down. So I thought, well, I'm not going to have him tear up this. I just put a new unit in my bedroom, so I'm not going to have him tear this thing up. New air conditioner. So I'm going to put a cable stop on him where he can't get to my window anymore. And I came home today. I got the cable stop out. I backed the truck up. I get up there and I do that. And I think, okay, well, a few days ago I noticed the faucet on the well that I've got the water hose to water Sparky and, the sprinkler and all that stuff comes straight off the well. It doesn't run through the filter like everything else. I thought, well, that faucet's not turning off good. And I've got a big 100 pack of the washers for it somewhere. I spent 30 minutes looking for it. And of course, like everybody else, I couldn't find it. As soon as I'm looking for something else, it'll be in my doggone way and I'll find it. I didn't throw the faucets away. But I've got an old one that I had already taken off of something that needed a new one, and I've got that one. So I've got a few brand new faucets. So I went and got my plumbing bag, got the brand new faucet out, put that mega tape on the threads, turned the well off, got out there, drained the well, took that faucet out, put the new faucet in. I stopped the leak because it wouldn't turn off, so it was leaking. And that'll stop my well from running quite as much as it was. So I handled that. I get inside, and doggone it, y'all, the UPS system had shut off. It shut off the DVR, which is the camera system, and it shut off the incubator. And I have no idea how long it had been off. Now, I'm going to go in there later and I'm going to look at the cameras and see the last time it recorded. If it had been off more than a couple of hours, I may lose all the eggs that I've had in there for almost 10 or 12 days. And if I do, that's going to be disappointing as crap. It's not the end of the world, but it's really going to be disappointing. So what I've been planning on doing was taking the eggs I'm getting now that are fertile from these two hens, because they're the only hens I got. Sue and Junior are doing their job multiple times on each hen because it's the only hen they've got. And if y'all didn't know, one rooster will fertilize 20 to 30 hens a day. So if you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 hens, they're getting fertilized many times a day. So I've been saving my eggs in order in the house, so I'll know if they're less than a week old, I can incubate them. If you look it up online, it tells you 7 days. I've always been told 5 days. So I'm going to go back and collect the last 5 days worth of eggs. I'm going to candle those eggs in another couple of days. I was waiting on that truck to pass. I'm going to candle those eggs in a couple of days and see if there's any growth in there, if the eggs made it. And I'll know after looking at the cameras how long it was off, because it'll tell me the last time it recorded versus now when I turn it back on. So if it was more than a couple hours, I'm probably going to lose all 12 of those eggs. Whether they were fertile or not, they're not going to hatch. And if that's the case, I'm going to leave them in the incubator for a couple more days. I'm going to candle them, and if I see growth in those eggs, I'm going to leave them. But if I don't see any signs of life in those eggs, I'm going to take them out and destroy them and put another batch of eggs in there. And that just puts me another 2 weeks behind. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I've got the 2 adult hens that are laying, and I know they're being fertilized. So those eggs should be fertile that I'm collecting, and I'm going to put those in. Now, the turkey eggs that I've got from before Tom died, they're approaching the end of their usable time from when the hen laid the egg to where I could incubate it. So I'm not going to worry about incubating any turkey eggs. I'm just going to focus on the 12 chicken eggs. But I hope I don't lose those 12. If I do, then I'm going to start over, and I'll let y'all know in another video whether I do start over or not. But it's disappointing because when I candled them the other night, about half of them I could tell were fertile. It was early, but I could tell they were fertile. So I hope I don't lose them, but it's not going to be the end of the world if I don't. It's just going to take longer to get more baby chicks. And I'm being honest with y'all, I'm not going to go spend another $80 to $100 on buying baby chicks when I've got chickens right now that are laying fertile eggs that I can incubate. As long as this incubator doesn't lose power and stays running, I should be able to hatch all the chickens that I'll ever need out here. And that's the game plan. So I'm not going to go show y'all at the well where I put a new faucet on to stop that leak. I did stop the leak. I'm not going to show you the cable stop where I'm stopping Sparky from getting to my bedroom window and air conditioner unit, and, trying to keep him from tearing things up. But I'm soaking wet with sweat. The humidity today for the last week, and it's going to be this way for a while, has been through the roof. We're not even in the hottest part of summer yet, and we've been having heat indexes of 107 plus. And having to work out in this mess is, bad enough. To come home and spend another 2 or 3 hours outside is just more than I'm prepared to do. I mean, yeah, I could if I had to, but nobody wants to get out here after being soaking wet all day and work another 2, 3, 4 hours. I don't see anything flying, but he's making noise. But anywho, guys, I appreciate y'all watching the videos, watching the channel, hitting the subscribe button, hitting the thumbs up, commenting when you can. I really do appreciate it. I had high hopes for this incubator, and it's not the incubator's fault of what happened. That UPS system died on me. So I put it back in the power supply room, communications room, and I think I'm going to run an extension cord. I don't know. I may move it into the barn. It stays a constant temp in that barn, or I may move it into the old building here. But those are on the grid. They don't, unless the grid goes down, they don't lose power. I don't know. I'm without a battery backup system, there's no way for me to prevent ever losing power. The off-grid does really well, but like I said, there's been a couple of times it glitched and threw a fault code. Even though the power still did stay on, I had to reset it, so it just blinked. But one day I might not be home when it does that and not get power. I don't know. So that inverter's really impressed me, but there's been a couple of weak points in it that I'm not too impressed about. It's not as dependable as I'd like it to be, but we'll see how that all works out in the long term. But I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all remember what I always tell you: Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.